G'day, Simon White, Senior Research Development Officer with the Department of Ag and Fisheries in Gundawindi. Today we're in a cover crop near Texas, looking at different sprinkler packages on centre pivot irrigator. First of all, I'll show you the S3000s. They're a spinner type sprinkler. Obviously it rotates as it throws the water out, has a bigger wetter pattern than the standard static plates, which I'll show you next. So here we have Nelson D3000 static plates. As you can see, and as the name suggests, they're a static plate. The base plate doesn't spin at all. And as the water comes out, it's projected out in individual streamlets. One of the issues with the D3000 is it has the highest instantaneous application rate. And what I mean by that is all the water is directed out on these streamlets to just a small part of the overall wetted circle. In comparison to the S3000s that we just looked at previously, where they're a spinner type and they're distributing that water more evenly over that whole wetted area. So the S3000s have a lower instantaneous application rate. The benefit of the spinner type ones over the static plates, such as the D3000s, is that increase in that wetted area, as well as that reduced instantaneous application rate, reduces the likelihood of runoff. And that's one of the things we're looking at here at this trial site, where the growers both put down a cover crop to try and reduce that raindrop impact from the irrigation, as well as trialling a couple of different sprinkler packages to see if he can reduce that instantaneous application rate, and in doing so, reduce the likelihood of runoff. One of the important things that pressurised irrigators should consider is sufficient end pressure on the end of their machines. With this machine, you can see we fitted a Senator end gauge to keep check of the end pressure. In terms of this machine, it's running at 10 psi reg, in which case it requires a minimum of 5 psi more than that to have sufficient pressure for the reg to operate correctly. And as you can see, the gauge is now running at 15 psi, which is the appropriate pressure for a 10 psi reg. If you don't have sufficient end pressure, as in that 5 psi above your reg, it could be due to a whole number of reasons. But the biggest impact of it is potential non-uniformity in your irrigation event and poor performance of both the regs, the sprinklers, and the resulting crop uniformity. Currently, through grant funding available through the Regional Economic Diversification Program, pressurised irrigators within the Queensland side of the Murray-Darling Basin can access funding for a free pressure end gauge on their machines.
G'day, Grant Cutler, Irrigation Officer for DAF Queensland based at Gundawindi. Today we're in a field cover crop trial under a centre pivot at Texas. We have oats planted at the recommended rate to increase surface cover and reduce the raindrop impact, thereby also reducing the surface runoff under our pivot. We've also oversown with field pea at a 60-40 rate. The field peas have been planted to look at nitrogen fixation in a cover crop situation and to see whether it is economically viable and an option to reduce our end budget for the coming season.